Today's segment of Oh Brother is sponsored by Warblog Eagle, the entertaining blog that provides you with everything you need to know about what's happening in the world of Auburn athletics. Read it on the web at www.warblogeagle.com.
So southern, they'll get up.
It is Wednesday. Welcome to Oh Brother. I'm Will Lochamy along with Reed Lochamy, recording from the Brandon Brown and Mill Country Western Delight Studios. Reed, I got bad news.
Uh-oh.
Well, my wife went on a business trip.
Uh-oh.
And what is every husband's fear when your wife goes away on a business trip?
An
That
affair.
maybe she'll come home with, what'd you say?
An affair?
You are sick, Reed.
Well, I think that's...
A Shamwow. She came home, spent our money on a Shamwow, Reed. An affair.
I didn't realize you were talking about something really terrible. I thought you just meant
yeah.
a mild fear. An affair.
Reed, no. She went to one of these, we'll have to get her to tell
I
us.
misread where you were going with that.
But eventually, she saw one of these demonstrations. You know the Shamwow guy?
I think they call them commercials.
No, an actual live demonstration
Wow.
where they do all the stuff from the commercial.
I didn't know they did that.
Spent our hard-earned money on a Shamwow.
Wow.
And
that's
going
a
to relate
sham.
to today's video, isn't it, Reed?
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, every Wednesday on Oh Brother here, we do something we call Show and Tell, which is where we put a video on our website, ohbrotherradio.com. You can go there and watch the video, and then we talk about it. And today's video, Will, is an interesting one that I ran across, which is a Consumer Reports. Everybody's familiar with Consumer Reports, right? That's the magazine.
Sure,
that,
yeah.
They report for the benefit of consumers about products that are out there. And this is a video they did where they just sort of talk about the Shamwow. Now, in case anybody's not up on what this is. I don't know how you could miss this, but in case you haven't heard, the Shamwow is basically a towel, and it's supposed
chamois. Yeah, they call these certain types of towels.
Is that
chamois.
what? It's fun. Okay, because I was thinking how funny they came up with the name sham for this, because I think it is sort of like a sham. You might say.
Chamois.
All right, well, whatever. So it's like a towel or whatever Will's calling a chamois, and they make all these outrageous claims about it. Now, Colleen, and what we're going to do is talk about what Consumer Reports had to say about these claims. Now, Colleen, you saw this demonstration. By the way, we're welcoming in Colleen. This is Will's wife, Colleen, who aforementioned saw this demonstration. And Colleen, tell us what you thought about the Shamwow.
Well, it appeared to really work.
And they were doing all the kind of things like pouring the soda on the carpet.
Coke. Yeah, poured the Coke on the carpet and soaked it up in like 5 seconds with the Shamwow.
And got all the soda out from even underneath the carpet.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. All the same thing that crazy Vince guy does on TV.
Yes.
Now, wasn't there like a controversy recently where he was arrested or he had some
was
kind
arrested
of
for beating up a prostitute, and in the process, she also bit him several times. And there's the picture you can find. I'm sure if you just Google Vince Shamwow.
Like broke
whatever.
Skin bit him?
Look, like bit his tongue off, like part of his tongue off or something. But anyway, there's a picture of him in the hospital bed after he was, taken to the hospital and then arrested. But anyway,
and he's super creepy looking.
He is super
and so
creepy.
was the guy who was doing the Shamwow presentation.
I bet he bled a lot. Do you think he probably needed a ShamWow?
Do you think it was Vince doing your ShamWow presentation?
No, a creepier version of Vince.
Someone creepier than the guy who had his tongue bitten off by a prostitute.
Right.
Wow. Well, speaking of wow, Will, if you watch the video, here the interesting. I've seen it. You'll watch it later. I don't think you've seen this video yet, but I think you'll want to see it. It's pretty interesting. Where Consumer Reports goes through and they show these different claims that they made on the commercials. Like on the first ever ShamWow commercial, they were saying that it picks up 20 times its own weight in.
It's like an ant.
Yeah, so it's saying that it would pick up, let's say the ShamWow, just for the sake of argument, weighed a pound, which of course it doesn't. Then it was claiming it would pick up 20 pounds worth of water or whatever. And then they showed a snippet of the next commercial ShamWow made where they said it picks up 12 times its own weight. And then they showed the snippet from the next commercial that said it picks up 10 times its own weight.
Because they were getting sued, I guess?
Well, I guess, yeah, for lying is what it was. Right. So they kept having to change the commercials. Here's the funny thing. Guess how much a common sponge will pick up and how many times its own weight it will pick up?
I would guess 50.
10.
10.
The point is this: there's no difference between a ShamWow and just a common sponge. And they showed that for $28 apparently you could get 8 ShamWows.
Right.
And they showed on this Consumer Reports video, and you can watch on our website obrotherradio.com, the number of sponges you could get for that same price.
It would be something like 200.
Well, it's just like a table just stacked full of sponges everywhere, whatever. So the point being that you could just get hundreds, literally, of sponges that are just as effective. They had tested sponges versus the ShamWow, and they said apparently that the ShamWow, Consumer Reports said the ShamWow will indeed pick up 10 times its 10 times its own weight, but so will a sponge.
Well, they're popular among swimmers, and that makes sense because they do get more water off of you like a sponge would than a regular towel. I think they soak up the water really good. My wife and I, we're not swimmers. Now, granted, I was a swimmer growing up. I was a guppy, and
You were a guppy. You had a
very
mean
well.
backstroke.
I'm telling you,
Mean
big
backstroke.
backstroke champion here as a guppy. But we're not swimmers, and so neither is Lila, my daughter, that you can hear
There
there
she
talking.
look at that, talking on the show for the first time.
But either way, so we didn't use the ShamWow very much, and it ended up being thrown away
Well, here's the
before
thing.
it was ever unwrapped.
Yeah. Wow. You didn't use it. When you say not much, you mean not at all.
Not ever.
Not
Well,
at all.
they wouldn't not let me buy it either.
No,
had-
no,
Colleen
wait.
was forced
now, this
to buy
is
the
how Colleen
ShamWow.
feels about a lot of things. She came home for the dentist the other day with a $70 toothbrush that her dentist made her buy.
Wow.
I'm not
made
kidding.
you buy it.
Well, they wouldn't take no for an answer. He even cut the price in half, but I think he also cut my ShamWow in half.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Were you saying originally it was a $140?
No,
No,
now we're
the
talking back with the
ShamWow.
ShamWow.
Hey, note to listeners, if you ever need to sell Colleen something, let's say it's a $15 parking pass somewhere, start off at $1,000. Then say, okay, look, I'll cut it down to 15. She's sold.
So, wait a second. So
What,
they
how did
cut
they
the
force
price
you
of
to
the
buy-
ShamWow in half.
Yes,
But you think maybe they also just gave you half of a ShamWow.
I think so. Because I think you're supposed to get 2 sheets for the price of whatever it was.
How much did you pay for the ShamWow?
$11.99.
For one ShamWow.
1 square of a ShamWow.
1 square of a ShamWow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
What other demonstrations were they doing that would make you just have to have a ShamWow?
Well, I didn't. I tried to walk away.
Oh,
But
so you only saw the Coke
unsuccessfully.
one,
Right.
tried to walk
Now,
away,
you
and now
tried
what,
to
he
walk
grabbed you
away.
from your
I
hair?
was followed down the hall of them all. With the
ShamWow
ShamWow guy.
representatives followed you
Yes.
and forced you to purchase.
He had one of these Britney Spears or Madonna type microphones on his head or something, where he...
No,
No?
no,
Did
was
he have a
just
gun?
no. But it was
Not
just-
that you saw.
It made you feel. I mean, it was more comfortable for me to pay him the money and
Wow.
make him leave me alone.
Sounds so criminal at this point.
It sounds exactly criminal. That's
It's-
amazing.
It's so much more comfortable just to pay him the money.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And then
Well,
he would leave me alone.
Here's what I want to talk about also, Will, is you know that we have an email address. It's obrotherradio@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And today we happen to be talking about the ShamWow. We hear about how Colleen was forced into purchasing one. It turns out that the ShamWow, big shocker, not nearly as effective as they try to make it sound. And listen, you said earlier that it does get water. It turns out, Consumer Reports, and they said this on the video, show that their testers actually saw that when you tried to wipe up a spill like off a countertop with ShamWow,
Yeah.
it would leave droplets of water that you then had to use a towel to come back and get.
No way.
Well, there it is on the video, so you can
I
watch it.
gotta watch
But
it.
here's the point: is people, if you are listening to this and you have purchased something on television before, like a ShamWow, or for example, recently I saw the commercial on television for that little thing that turns your regular hose into a pressure washer. And I thought, ooh, I need to get one of those.
Sure,
but of
makes
course, I'm not going
sense.
to fall for it because I'm sure it's a lie. I may get Colleen to buy one or whatever. And then
Yeah,
try
Colleen
it.
will definitely buy
Yeah,
it.
but here's the thing. Listen, if you have bought something, I'm talking to the listeners right now. Listeners, if you have purchased something like the ShamWow or that thing or anything that you thought, at first you thought, oh, this is too good to be true, but you went ahead and fell for it anyway, and you would like to come on the show and talk about it, send us an email at obrotherradio@gmail.com.